So I don't know exactly where we left off of this last time, but this is the way I pulled it out of the bin. It needed a fuel line. I'll do another video on the routing of it for anybody who cares. Most of you will already have one installed, so it won't matter, but I'll do one for those who are working from scratch like I am. But anyways, like $4 at the local dealer. It's kind of a proprietary thing. I think you probably fashion your own out of some regular line and barbed, tees and stuff. But for $4, it's not worth it in my eyes. So I just bought that. Pretty much that was the last major component that I was waiting on. I did pick up a, dog for it. I get these. They're for, I'll put a part number in there, but they're for like MS192T, or I think they go on a bunch of different stuff. But anyways, I like them. They aren't straight flat up the front. They're actually got a arch to them. They're longer in the middle, and they're just a touch longer. So anyways, I prefer them over the straight ones. The back housing on this, I don't know if it was dropped or what, but it's all cracked and broken out. So I think what I'm going to do is take some flat stock aluminum or flat sheet aluminum, cut a couple strips, and then run them, since there's room back here, run them basically like down here up top and one on the bottom there, all the way to the other side of the housing. So basically back here, what you'll have is inside of this, you'll have a strip of aluminum there and a strip of aluminum there, and then I'll just rivet, I don't know, 2 or 3 on each side, on top and then on the bottom, and that'll stiffen all this up, get it all back in line how it's supposed to be, and that will also hopefully keep that tight, and then your primer bowl will pop right in there like it's supposed to. So, and I might end up JB welding it right there too, but that aluminum should stiffen it all up and not be super heavy in there. So structurally it'll be sound again. Because for the money paid for this saw, he'll be leaps and bounds ahead if we aren't buying new housings and stuff. And I don't think it needs it. I think we can do a little field fix and it'll probably last forever. So that's what we're going to do. That's the only other things I really found that seem to be wrong with it. We are just going to clean the carb, get the new fuel line on. Everything else looks good. I did vacuum test the impulse line, where the impulse hose comes from. They're kind of funky. They go, well, you can't really see, but the impulse line runs behind the flywheel, right up behind the coil. It goes from there up around, up under the filter housing, or handle, if you will. Anyway, vacuum tested it. It's good, so I'm not going to go crazy. We aren't too far away from just having the carb cleaned and rebuilt and throw it on there. Needs to be done anyways. And get the primer bulb in there. I'm not concerned about the housing right now, as long as everything's functional, and run it so you guys have an idea what these things run like stock. And then do a little muffler mod and timing advance and run it that way, and then tear it all down and port it. So hopefully that'll give you an idea, in orders of magnitude, if you will, where the gains are at, I guess. On these, I think a lot of gains are just from the muffler mod and timing advance themselves. I don't think port work is necessary, and probably most people wouldn't even want to spend the time doing it for the gains over just a muffler mod and timing advance. I'd say most of the population would probably be happy with that, or downright thrilled. If it takes me 3 hours of grinding, between setting everything up and getting it ported and done, that 3 hours is worth 10 or 15% gain, if that's all it is. I think it's more than that myself, but we're going to find out. I've never done one each stage along the way, so we'll check it out, and then you'll have an idea. One other thing to note on these, not just this saw, but I see it happen a lot of the time. When you put this ring in, support ring, well, let me see if I can get this set up and show you better. So when you get that support ring in there, you can see, well, yeah, maybe that's right. Let's go like this. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this metal ring is meant to sit flat on the outside of that intake boot, like so. Okay. You can see, however, that the last person who had this in didn't have it on the outside of that boot. They actually had it cocked just right. So when they, I probably can't make it do it again. But so anyways, this ring, support ring, normally fits on the outside of that boot. And as you can see, there's that line right there, that indentation. That's because whoever had it in last had this thing cocked just right, and I can't get it to do it again now. I had it earlier, but anyways, basically that ring was sitting on top of this rubber boot. So you don't have an even sealing surface there if that's the case. It's like held off of it. So you would most certainly have an air leak right there. Try and get this ring off of there so I can show you a little better. But so you can see that you know, that protrudes through the housing. And then this metal support ring is made to go around that. But you can tell. So like right now, it's all the way around it. It's on the outside. But somebody prior had it seated on top of that rubber boot. So there's no way that carburetor was sealing. Anyways, I guess my point is, that's something to look for if you buy one of these or something, you're going through it and you think you got an air leak. That's a common place. I noticed that quite a bit on these little, well, these 192s anyways. I haven't dealt with a whole lot of other ones, but same principle applies to a lot of other Stihl saws. They have the same setup. So something to look for.